Hey, what's up guys? Thank you for tuning in. In today's video, we'll be talking about my portfolio, then we'll have a look at the best performing ETF for Nasdaq 100, and then we will also look at the total premium that I've been able to generate from selling cash secured puts and covered call on my portfolio. But that'll be the last thing that we discuss. Without wasting any further let's jump right into the video. So here's a look at my current portfolio. It is up the last day of the week. We have a shorter week next week, but today it is up 0.3%. I'm up $460, and currently I have just one covered call for SOXL at $35 strike price, which is in the money right now, as SOXL price is $37.76, which you can see here. The rest of my money, $40,000, close to $41,000, is here in Lululemon and cash secured put that I sold at $205. I collected some $40 or so, and then the buying power is at $3,300. The best thing that you see here that I love about my portfolio is I've been able to maintain my QQQ shares over 104 shares, and then for CHD I have 515 shares, and for SPY I've been able to collect or accumulate 21 shares. So the cash secured put and the covered call premium that I collect, I invest right back in this to buy more shares of SPY. The goal here is to get 200 shares ASAP. So I don't want to buy at the current price, so that's why I'm dollar cost averaging, buying every single day. That'll be a bit of it. So now let's jump to the meat of this video. So what I did is I looked up the best performing ETF, or what people have been talking high of are these index based ETF. Some are covered call on the index ETF, and some are weekly paying ETFs. So this is a blend of a few of these ETFs that you see. So we have IQQQ QQQI from NEOS, to our Invesco ETF that is based on the index, and then defines as its own covered call option ETF on Nasdaq 100, and then the Roundhill, the infamous Roundhill, which is gaining a lot of traction and is up $40 million in just last 5 days in the asset under management, AUM otherwise. One more that I added initially but had to take it out is JetQ, which I'll put back in again just to show you guys. The platform that I'm using is Seeking Alpha. I have a affiliated link in the description, so if you sign up for that, you get $25 off from your premium yearly membership, plus you get to have 7 days of pro account for free as a trial. So anyway, if you look here, all these 6 ETFs, most of them pay dividends weekly or monthly. In case of QQQ, it is quarterly, and it is there just so that I can show you guys the index itself and how it has performed over the past 4 or 5 months, which we can compare here. So based on the price return, just at looking at the price, the top performing index ETF is again QQQ. It is based on the Nasdaq 100 index, so that's why I like it. Of course it is supposed to perform better in price return, but all other, if you see them, are all options ETFs, meaning they play some sort of options play on you, or they have treasury bonds or some other sort of income that they are generating. So they are all pretty much the income oriented ETFs. We have the most data about JEPQ and QQQ, since JEPQ has been around more than almost 3 years, and this year, by the end of this year, it'll be 3 years. For QQQ, it's been around for decades now. So what I did here is I selected the time frame since all of these ETFs were available, so that we can have apples to apples comparison and not just go with the dates that they were all individually started. So March 20th was the first day when all of these ETFs started combined, like we can track the data since March 20th 2024. So in price return, number one, as I said, is QQQ with over 6% return, and the second best is IQQQ with 1.29% return, and then JEPQ and QQQI are third and fourth respectively. QDTE is at fifth with negative 9.35 return on your investment. So if you invested $100, but the price return says that you'll be at $91.65. So that's the really bad return if you look at just the price return. And then is also down over 20%. QQQY, by the way, is the defines Nasdaq 100 enhanced option income ETF. This is very aggressive in generating cash flow, which we will see in our total return. So when you look at the total return, it's a complete different picture. All of them are in positive. So if you reinvested the dividends starting March, you would have been in positive now with all of these. So that's a good thing, and the growth that we see with the index QQQ Invesco top 100 ETFs shares. So then the top performing ETF with dividends reinvested here is QDTE, and it's almost 1% above the second best, which is QQQ. So the index ETF that QDTE is based off of is lagging behind QDTE, and then in third place we have QQQI, and then IQQQ and Y, and then last is JEPQ. So I started investing in JEPQ last year in my Roth IRA so that I can accumulate tax-free money faster, but it seems like there are other opportunities that are well suited here, because at one point, if you look here, the Nasdaq index ETF was up 13.52 and QDTE was 10.19. Then QDTE at the end of this month, August, we are seeing QDT in the lead, and almost 1% gap it has gained compared to others. And between QDTE and JEPQ total return, there's a almost 4% difference in favor for QDTE. So that speaks volume. And then if you come here and just to see how much dividends each company is paying, QDTE dividend percentage is right in the middle between the 70 and 0.57, right? It's about 18%, but this 18% that you see here is not actually just 18%, because this is the total return since March. So that's a good thing, that if you reinvest the dividends over a longer period of time with QDTE, which is weekly dividend paying ETF, you can accumulate your money really fast. And again, most of the data for dividend growth or 3 or 5 years is missing, because these are not gonna pay you growing dividend. They are income oriented ETFs, and they are based on selling covered calls or a blend of other strategies, option strategies that you can think of. That tells you a big picture. QQQI's returns are good too, but IQQ was close second in the price return with QQQ which only has a dividend yield of 3.29, and then the 4-year yield is 1.5%. So it pretty much cannot, it's a blend of both QQQ and the high paying dividend ETFs. But I would say, like, you have to decide. If you want to see growth, then just invest in QQQ. You don't have to go with IQQQ. But if you really want to see dividends accumulating and snowballing your investment, then probably QDTE is not a bad option. And then again, 1 month price performance, you see two negative price performance QQQY, because this is of course paying 70% of the investment that it generates from Defiance, and then that's why, like, the dividend yield here you see is 70%. So it has a lot of drawdown when it comes to NAV erosion. So that takes the overall value of the ETF down. But QDTE is also down close to 2.5%, but rest of the other ETFs are holding the position quite well over 1 month, and some over 3 months as well. So the last thing that I want to share with you guys is the liquidity, because that's important. How much investors are interested and how much they have confidence in any specific ETF. Although you see a small number here with respect to performance QDTE, but this is the fastest growing, after of course QQQ. This is the fastest growing ETF, and it has gained a lot of traction recently, and it has been able to dominate over IQQQ or QI. Even I is not far short from here for QDTE. So Roundhill is doing great job with their ETF, and they have come up with other ETFs, individual ETFs as well. But here's the picture. If you are really interested in the total return to be accumulated over time with your investments and dividend reinvestments plans or DRIPs, then QDTE or QQQI would be the second best option, along with QQQ, which is the Nasdaq ETF. So that's about it on the comparison side. Now let's jump right into the total accumulation of cash secured puts and covered calls. So this week I was able to sell a lot of cash secured puts and covered calls, and being able to reinvest these cash that I collected from all these contracts. If you see here, starting 26th, I sold 2 contracts for Nvidia stock cash secured put at 103, because Nvidia was reporting on Wednesday on August 28th, and then I sold my almost daily covered call on QQQ, just make a $3-4 here and there for QQQ and buy more shares of QQQ. And then I also sold 2 more contracts on Nvidia for the same strike price on 28th, and made little more money, 72 cents per share here for 2 contracts. So a total of $151.94, and then rolled the covered call option for SOXL and made almost $90 there. And then I bought back the Nvidia option because it was only $2.75 to buy back these 4 contracts. So I invested, or costed me $11.12 to get all those contracts. I think they were 4 contracts, so not 1, but 4 contracts. And then lastly, I sold the cash secured put 2 contracts of those on Lululemon, and I was able to generate $42 here. So this is the grand total for the month. I was able to generate close to $1,800 in the month of August. I will create another sheet for the month of September moving forward, and I will keep track of how much money that I've been able to generate. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys will like this video. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care of yourself and people around you. Goodbye.